Peace and blessings, abundant soul. Welcome to the Abundantly Ever After show with Jovhannah Tisdale. I created this show because I wanted a space to share my stories and my experiences with the various struggles that I've had in life, how I was able to overcome them and live what I like to call abundantly ever after. Now, later we will get into exactly what that means and what that looks like. But for now, this is an introductory episode to let you know what to expect from the show and who I am, and a little bit more about the why behind the Abundantly Ever After show. So let's get into it. First up, the Abundantly Ever After show is the culmination of a lot of different things that I have done in the past. I'll share more about who I am. I'm a spiritual healer. I'm a life coach, tarot card reader, all of these different tools and modalities that I have trained in and studied. And so I use that work. I worked a lot with women around self-love, around having healthy relationships, healing their heart, getting over toxic and unhealthy relationships, whether it's with self, family, or a partner. I've done work for single mothers and created this little oasis called Healing Single Mothers. I've done a lot of different things. I also support online businesses, especially those with a spiritual focus. I've done social media management. And I've had all of these different skill sets, but they were all scattered about throughout different brands and different this and different that. And it started to become very segmented. And also there was this aspect of it that just wasn't what I wanted it to be. I felt like it had to be posh and polished and I had to follow all these rules. And I wanted to create something that was untouched, that did not have input from any outside sources, that was strictly spirit-led and from my heart and something that I was passionate about. And so that's where I decided to go ahead and create the Abundantly Ever After show. So the work that I do, it's all dedicated to helping people heal from pain, from trauma, from past hurts, past disappointments, struggles, and live abundantly ever after. I don't want you just to be happy. I want you to live abundantly ever after. And when I say that, I'm not just talking about money. We are going to talk about money on this podcast because money, it's also a huge part of my work as a shamanic money priestess. I do energy work around money and lots of other things. But like I said, we'll talk about that more later. Money is a big part of it. However, I want you to experience an abundance of everything that you desire. Whether it's an abundance of love, an abundance of travel, an abundance of dance, an abundance of bliss, an abundance of connection, an abundance of self-love, an abundance of success, an abundance of growth. Like whatever that looks like for you, that is what abundantly ever after means. We're not stopping at happiness. We're not stopping at an abundance of peace. We are going for everything that is our divine birthright and then some. So that is what abundantly ever after is all about. So that was actually the tagline for my business, The Spiritual Love Sanctuary, which is evolving and growing into the dream that I had envisioned for it, which was to be a women's spiritual healing and wellness center. And the tagline was, heal your heart and mind and live abundantly ever after. And that abundantly ever after really just stuck with me. It really resonated within my spirit. And there was something about it that really called to me to bring the aspects of my work around healing, around helping people develop healthy relationships, as well as helping people improve their financial situation and be able to manifest what it is they want and need in their life. And so in future episodes, we're definitely going to talk more about manifestation, but I want to be very clear that I'm not one of those, we're going to manifest $1 million and drive around in pink Ferraris. I'm here to help people who are living paycheck to paycheck, trying to figure out how the hell they're going to get out of a toxic relationship with little to no money, how they are going to afford to go back to school so that they can get the career that's going to help them pave a better way for their family. I am here to help the woman who is I want to buy my house. I want to buy my dream house, or I want to take a trip out of the country. How can I start to manifest and develop this lifestyle that I want? Now, that's not to say if you want to manifest $1 million and drive around in a pink Ferrari that that's wrong. But I am really here to talk to the everyday person, the everyday woman who is just like me, who's not right now thinking about like, I need a pink Ferrari when you're trying to figure out, okay, I want to put my kid in gymnastics. Like, how can I make that happen with the income that I have now? How can I start to develop financial wealth, financial security now so that I can have the lifestyle that I want for my family later? So let's get that out the way really quickly. Secondly, this podcast, it's about living abundantly ever after. And so I'm taking you with me wherever I go and wherever I feel called and led to record a podcast episode. I will not be sitting in a studio with a microphone in front of my face. Right now, I am sitting in the carpool line at my daughter's school, and you might have just heard a car drive by me because that's where I'm at. And this is part of my living abundantly ever after because I wanted to be able to carpool for my child. I wanted to take her to school. I wanted to pick her up from school because that was important to me. And I get to do that. And while I'm sitting in the carpool lane, we will have, I have time to record episodes. I used to do live stream from my car, and I would do carpool conversations. And they were amazing because I would just literally talk about whatever was on my heart and mind at the time. And so that's what I'm doing now, but just in a different format and a different direction. And who knows, maybe I will bring those carpool conversations back. On the Abundantly Ever After show, I'm going to have different segments. So there will be a podcast that's just me, that's like talking about a specific topic. And then there will be some times when I might do Tea Time with Savvy, where she and I are sitting down and we're talking about things from her perspective. Or I might do a book club where I am reading a book and I'm sharing with you the book that I'm reading and talking about the things that I'm learning and different practices and principles. There will be times when I do readings on the podcast, so you can come and listen and get some spiritual wisdom and inspiration. There might be times when I'm doing a meditation or a healing transmission through podcast format. And there's a list of other things. So this is not going to be an average me just talking to you. This is going to be a journey. So I want to share the shit that I've experienced in life. Again, I'm Jovhannah Tisdale. I am the host and creator of the Abundantly Ever After show. You may have known me as the Spiritual Love Healer and the owner of the Spiritual Love Sanctuary, where I supported mainly women, but I also did work with men who were dealing with toxic and unhealthy relationships or past trauma that was limiting them in some kind of way. And let me be clear as well, because a lot of times when we think about trauma, we can think, right, there's complex trauma, which is something that absolutely needs clinical support from a physician, from a therapist, a psychologist. And then there's trauma, right? There's capital T trauma and little t trauma. I am not here in a capacity as a medical professional to deal with complex traumas. However, I have experienced complex traumas and can speak about my experiences from that perspective. But when I talk about trauma, my definition of trauma is the shit that fucks you up. So let's say in second grade, your teacher yelled at you in front of the class while you're doing a presentation, and that made you really nervous. It made you uncomfortable. It really hurt your feelings. And now you are super uncomfortable with public speaking to this day. That's a form of trauma, right? It's not a complex trauma, right? It's not something as huge as, let's say, sexual assault, but it is traumatizing to you. So if it's something that happened to you and it fucked you up in some way, it's considered trauma in my book. So that's what I mean when I talk about trauma. It's the things that we all experience in life. Watching the news nowadays is traumatizing. Driving to work and someone like cuts you off or damn near like hits your car, that's traumatizing, whether we like acknowledge it or realize it or not. So a lot of us have been exposed to a variety of forms of trauma through childhood, through our adult experiences, and we will continue to be subjected to them. Why? Because we are human. It's part of our human experiences. That being said, if you are dealing with something that is extremely hurtful or complex and you are not sure how to navigate things, I absolutely recommend that you reach out to a professional for guidance and support. And, I'm here as a supplement to that. A lot of people that I work with, I always recommend that they, I ask them about, have you gone to therapy? Have you talked to a professional about this, that, and the third? Because it's very important. And I never want people to think that I am like the cure-all, but I do know some things. So when I talk about trauma, I'm talking about the bad things that we've experienced, the things that have caused us grief, that have caused us heartache, that have caused us pain, shame, guilt, embarrassment, resentment, all of those things, right? So that is what living abundantly ever after is about. It's about, how can I heal from this? How can I overcome this? How can I have gone through shit and still came out unscathed and still come out fresh as hell? That's what this is about. This is about you being able to make peace with your past, being able to accept yourself, good, bad, ugly, and otherwise, and know that you are still worthy and deserving of having all that you desire in this lifetime and more. So a little bit about me. I think I went off on a tangent. Again, I'm Jovhannah Tisdale, also known as the Spiritual Love Healer. I'm a shamanic priestess. I am a Reiki master practitioner, certified in a variety of Reiki, including money Reiki, Karuna Ki Reiki, Asui Reiki, which is a traditional form of Reiki, Aset Ka Reiki, and I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting a couple other Reikis. Crystal Reiki. I'm also a certified crystal practitioner. That means I use crystals as tools for healing. I am an intuitive tarot reader. I'm an angelic healing practitioner. I work a lot with angels. I have a lot of spiritual knowledge. I have a lot of different credentials and various healing modalities. I am also a master life coach with a variety of certifications, from happiness to success and everything in between, including business stuff, which I don't talk about a lot. I'm also a mother. I am a single woman. I have 2 children, 2 girls. One of them is 20 and the other is soon to be 8. And they are my life. They are why I do the work that I do for myself and for other people, because I want to create a better world for our future. I believe that as women, that we are the pillar of society. What we do matters. We are the backbones of our families, of our communities. And when we're able to heal ourselves, we're able to pass that healing on to our children. And then that's how we're able to affect change, by stamping out cycles of abuse and trauma, because we're not passing on what was passed on to us. We're leaving a different legacy for our children. So that's something that I'm super, super passionate about. I am no stranger to trauma, to struggle. And that's why I really wanted to create this space that felt like really safe for me to share like a lot of the stories, because it's insane. Like whenever I tell people my story, they look at me like, wow, like I would have never guessed that about you. I have experience with domestic abuse, sexual assault, depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, toxic and unhealthy relationships. I struggled with self-love as a result of, and maybe even before the abuse, like maybe that's led me into it, which is something that we will definitely get into. But yeah, like I've been through a lot, not to mention the different financial struggles that I've had. I've had to deal with not having support, fake friends, like all the things. I was homeless for a period of time before. All the things, workplace drama and toxicity. Like, listen, y'all, I got you. Like, this is a safe space for you as much as it is a safe space for me. So there's a couple other aspects of the show. So one is Ask Jovhannah, and that will be like Q&A segments. You can submit your questions to me. You can also submit what I like to call confessions, where if it's something that you want to share, but maybe don't want anybody to know is you, you can submit a confession there. We're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about life, and we're going to talk about abundance. That covers like everything under the sun, because it all matters and it's all connected. And I think it's really interesting that in a society or era where we're supposed to be coming together like as a collective, as a whole, like so many people try to force us to like focus on one thing, and you can't do this and you can't do that. I am a passionate person. I have a lot of varied interests. I have, like most people, right? There's not just one thing that we're here to do or to say or to experience. And anytime I try to stuff myself in a box, it made me very uncomfortable and very unhappy. And I would find myself like, because I'll get bored with something and want to go jump over here, but I can't talk about that here because so that's what this space is. It's a space where I can talk about all the things in a way that feels good and feels right for me. Eventually, I do want to maybe record these and have like video episodes and make it into an actual show. So when I was little, I dreamed of having a talk show. I love Ricky Lake show. I love like Oprah. I always wanted my own talk show. So this is that seedling being planted to sprout into something a lot more grandiose. So I will share more of my story as far as like my healing journey, my spirituality journey, like how all of that got started, my experience with sexual assault and domestic violence, and just all the things that I have experienced and the different things that helped me deal with, manage, and overcome those challenges. So I'm really excited. Again, like if you have questions or if there are specific topics that you want me to talk about, let me know. My plan is to air an episode each week. I don't know how they're going to flow right now because, like I said, I want to do like different segments and different types of shows. So we'll see. But I do have like a plan for like the stuff I want to talk about at the start, which is really going to be about like what Abundantly Ever After is, talking about that more, sharing a little bit more about that. But for now, what I'd like for you to do is head over to abundantlyeverafter.show and drop your email, because I want you to join my mailing list. So that's where I'm going to be sharing a lot more information, maybe some behind the scenes stuff. And then you'll also know how to submit your questions or share your confessions with me. I'll be able to connect with you on a much deeper level. My mailing list is where I like bare my soul. I love writing in addition to speaking. So that's just a beautiful space and way for you to connect with me deeper, to know what's coming up. So join, because that's where the tea will be served. That is where the tea will be served. So I think I'm gonna come to a close here because I've shared, I think, everything that I wanted to share in this episode. Like I said, this was really off the cuff. I just knew I wanted to just talk about what the show was, what Abundantly Ever After meant, and then we can dive into more of that in the coming episodes. So right now, eventually I'll add music and all the other beautiful things to the show. But for right now, I just want to record content and put it out there and allow you to benefit and listen and enjoy what I have to say. So thank you so much for tuning in and learning what this show is all about. I cannot wait to see what unfolds and to see this grow in a very beautiful, beautiful way. Oh, another thing that I may be doing is doing some like live coaching calls where you can call in and we can chat. So that'll be another fun option. I really want to make this fun and easy and something that continues to grow as I grow as well. So I am wishing you a magical and abundant day, and I will see you next time on the Abundantly Ever After Show. Peace.